Boom. Let's talk post-hike gear review. Start off with the Zpacks Arcall. Let's talk Zpacks Arcall. Hello everyone, Renal here, really not that ultralight. Unicorn and I recently got back from our Pacific Crest Trail 2021 thru hike, and I thought it would be a good idea to do some post-hike gear reviews. So I'd like to start off with the Zpacks Arcall 62-liter backpack. This would be a good place to start. Now, if you follow the channel, or if you haven't followed the channel, if you're new to the channel, I typically follow 4 characteristics in this order when looking for thru hike gear. I'll look for build quality, weight, packability, and function. So let's not waste any time. Looks like it might rain here in sunny Florida here in a little bit. Let's get into build quality. Before we get into build quality, really quick, the history of this Arcall. I took it on the Florida Trail and through the Smokies, I think over 100 miles on the Appalachian Trail before we took it on our Pacific Crest Trail thru hike. So it's got some mileage on it, a little bit. So let's see if I can pick this up here a little bit. I'm gonna do some detailed views of the Arcall. So this hole here, put it on myself. The dirty girl got caught. I was flipping this backpack over. I was getting the tent ready and taking a rest, and my dirty girl gator got caught. That little metal clip that got caught in the middle, and it ripped. I think episode 8, it was pretty early on. It never grew any bigger. So I'm gonna have to, look at that and say, that didn't grow any bigger through all the rigor and all the things I put this pack through. The net held up pretty well. So let's take a look at the seams of the Arcall. The backpack was manufactured in the United States. There's a lot of products. I think Zpacks touts that they're still in the States and their manufacturing is done in the States. So let's take a look at the quality of the build, and that's a pretty big deal to me. That's pretty impressive. Let's take a look at the seams there on the back, the build quality of the straps right there. Of course, that's the bottle holder. We'll talk about that another time. Here's the hip belt. Again, I'm going to twist it around. You can see the quality right there. And I think it's starting to rain a little bit on me, but that's okay, because rain never bothered me that much. Pretty good build quality there. As you can see, there's side pockets as well. Now let's look at some of the connector pieces right here at the bottom that bears the weight. If you see the sewing there at the end, I was concerned about that when I was hiking, if that would hold up, but that held up there, and you can see where the arc is right there, the support going down the beam. It held up pretty well. Hopefully you can get a shot of it right there. Some pretty good stitching. Okay, now back, I had to go under my pad. It's raining a little bit, but if you can see the screen right here, we actually had to get this replaced. For me, I didn't wash my pack. There was salt buildup, and they sent, I think Field Trip sent me a new one from Zpacks pretty quickly. That's another topic. The customer service was good there. We'll talk about that another time, but I was sent another screen when I needed that replaced. Again, I think right now, if you take a look at what happened here without washing my pack, there was salt buildup through the desert, and that part came up off. It wasn't a deal breaker because, the net's one thing and it's not inoperable. So of course the arc would be affected, but it wouldn't be an inoperable pack. So at the time I was at John Jadius's, Trail Angel took us in at the time, and we were washing our packs because we weren't washing our packs, and then with salt buildup, and I think that's a good practice. So I'm going to put that one on me, but it snapped right here, and actually if you take a really good close look, John actually sewed that for us at his house. Near the Aqua Dolce there. So John, thank you very much for doing that on the fly. And I wanted to show the public right there that you should actually maybe wash your pack off once in a while, especially through the desert when you're collecting that salt and it's not getting moist at all in terms of rain or anything washing through. But that was the only problem I had with the pack in terms of the build quality on the back. As you can see, we can talk about straps. And look at that. That's some really thick stitching right there, just at that point. I'm certainly not going to go through every single seam and part, but build quality is a pretty big deal. The Velcro at the top here held up rather well through time, but let's take a look at the inside as well. I don't know if we ever go through the inside. When I've seen reviews, I don't know if anyone's ever gone inside, so I'm gonna kind of see if I can slide the bag into the camera right there. As you can see, the build on the inside, it held up rather well. Sorry about that focus right there, but it held up rather well. You can see the seam on the right side there where the light's beaming through over here. That held up extremely well, that Dyneema and the stitching in the seam. And it was, look at, very straight, and it held in. And you're ripping this through with a liner, and I put this bag through everything that I can possibly think of. I beat it up, I was pushing it around, I was laying on it. Probably wouldn't suggest that to everyone doing that. I believe that's part of the reason why that back strap snapped as well. When I was bonking, I was just laying on the ground against my pack. That's not good practice with any pack you're doing. Don't bonk, how about that? But the inside looks pretty straight and in really good condition still. And as I flip this thing around right here on the front, I think the build quality right now, if we look at a rating of 5 out of 5 in terms of build quality, you know, this back beam as well, I lost. So there's a beam that goes from here down to here at the end of the screen. And I lost it late in the game, and it didn't really matter. Of course, it affected the arc a little bit, the way it pulls back your back. And I just felt like the way I packed my sleeping bag, it was not allowing for this beam to go straight. But I liked my pack a certain way. We could talk about that another time. So again, I'm actually gonna put that on me in terms of the way I put my pack, the way I packed my pack. But I wanted to test it without it. I was like, hey, how will it work with the middle beam missing? You know, versus what it came with and how it's supposed to really work. And it worked fine. It actually worked fine. There was still a little arc there, and that's how it worked for me. But besides that, I think that I would give the build quality of a 4 out of 5. You know, build quality for arc haul, 4 out of 5. You know, like any ultralight gear, you have to be dainty with the gear a little bit. Dyneema and the ultralight products, or they can, you know, be damaged versus, let's say, a big, thick, heavy canvas one. So build quality 4 out of 5. Really happy with it. I don't see, the things that I get concerned about are these little corners here that don't look very robust. And you're looking at the pack and you're like, wow, is it robust? Is it going to hold up? It held up. So great on the arc haul in terms of build quality. Let's get into weight next. Let's talk about how heavy this thing is and if that was acceptable. Geez, the rain is persisting here, but yeah, if you take a look at the weight, this is medium torso spec. If you spec out the arc haul on the Zpacks website, it weighed in at 22.7 ounces, right? And the only addition I got was like the V-strap to hold in the bear canister as well up here. The bear canister was over 2 pounds. So let's revert back to build quality a little bit, and it was held up top, and it just, nothing ever broke or ripped. So back on that note, the weight is 22.7 pounds for medium torso build. I'm sorry, 22.7 ounces. And that's pretty darn light. So let's, you know, compare that with other products out on the market and what it can do in a little bit. So for me, weight certainly was awesome. 22.7 ounces. I give weight a 5 out of 5. All right, we'll get right into packability. I don't know if that really pertains here, but packability, we flew with it. So it was, you know, right up the top in the bin. I folded the top down because it's 62 liters. So in terms of packability and me being able to shift it around and move it around when I was flying back home, I'd have to give this a 5 out of 5 considering what it did and what it can hold in terms of packability. So 5 out of 5 for packability. Boom. All right, let's talk function. Okay, so you have the screen back here. The screen was big enough to hold more than, you know, I mean, rain jacket, the whole nine. I think the function of the screen was good enough. Whether you want the screen enclosed or open, that's going to be another topic. I wanted open screen. I like the breathable screens when I look for my product. So the Arcall had that. In terms of the side, little tightening thingamajiggers here. Put the umbrella down the side, trekking poles. They held up that function well. We'll go right into the side pockets. They were angled correctly, 2-liter bottles. I kept my Rology ball there, my massage ball actually right here, and another liter bottle on the other side, another liter bottle. And actually I put some snacks. Eventually I went with no side packs at all. I just had the fupa, and I put some snacks here as well. So those worked out really great. In terms of the whole shoulder strap and all the straps here, and then the load lifters, the load lifters all in the back, all worked great. One of the reasons why Unicorn will refuse to use any other packs besides the Arcol. I tell you what, up here, the fold down when you needed extra space. Loaf of bread at the end, big time, right? So Arcol might be overkill for some folks. I had a triplex load out, so I went with Arcol, but near the end it came in handy when I wanted to put a loaf of bread, peanut butter and jelly. I just carry that loaf right up top, or chips. I'll just put it right up top. Down here, you have these little things, right? So I don't know if I would suggest putting something really heavy down there. I mean, these are pretty robust, but I put that little Gossamer Gear foam pad. We can talk about that another time. I put it right here at the bottom. It was real cute. It didn't get in the way. These straps weren't too long. I didn't feel it was too dangerous. I don't like things dangling really long. I felt it was kind of dangerous going around some of those cliffs and some of those down trees. So I wanted to keep everything really tight, close to my body, and that allowed for it down here. And it just worked really, really well at the bottom. And as you can see here, still all in great condition. So that functioned really well. We're talking function here. The Arcol itself functioned, right, through the desert, through some of that heat, and it gave that great arc there and allowed my back to breathe. And with the load lifters, it just felt like there was nothing on my back. So that function worked great. Just a great, phenomenal idea from Zpacks. I really enjoyed it. So what other function was there? I got this addition here, which was this strap for the bear canister up at the top. I'm sorry about that, I just hit the camera. And you just kind of pull this down over the top, and I kind of zipped it in. If you watch some of the videos, maybe I'll find a clip of me walking through with the canister up at the back there. So real quick here, talking about the Zpacks Arcol. As you can see, this is my spec with the bear canister on the outside. I just have it strapped there on that extra mod that we had it done. And as you can see up here with Unicorns, what did you do, Unicorn? You just kind of...
I put my bear canister right on the top.
On the inside, and it fits.
Inside.
And it fits both ways. So we have different specs. So I got the triplex loaded in that, but as you can see, pretty dynamic backpack. It fits inside horizontally and also on the outside.
Only on the top though.
Only on the top.
It doesn't fit horizontally down below.
No, but it's working good. You like it secure that way. I'm gonna roll it with it this way, and let's just see how it all works out. But this held up really well, and it functioned really well. And the only tip I'll give you is, like, as you tighten the canister, if you see some of the clips I'll show you, if it starts to slip back and forth, just put your rain jacket there, or put a piece of cloth or something that you have there, and it kind of tightens in the canister a little bit more than this strap just on that piece of Baravolt plastic that can slide back and forth, if you know what I mean. And actually, I'll credit Unicorn to that. You know, we just took a cloth, a bandana, and we wrapped it around the bear canister and then put the strap on, and it worked great. So besides that, I think function for all that, the strap here, the belt strap, the straps up at the top as the backpack functioning, absolute 5 out of 5 function for the Arcol 62-liter pack from Zpacks. Boom, so let's do the recap. So we have build quality at a 4 out of 5, weight, packability, and function were all a 5 out of 5. So if you do the math, that's 19 out of 20. I think that qualifies for happiest known time with a backpack. So happiest known time for the Zpacks backpack, the Arcol 62-liter pack. This thing was an absolute beast. Definite happiest known time, 19 out of 20. Thank you very much, Zpacks, for making these packs, so us thru hikers can definitely have happiest known time. What I'll tell you, no, not affiliated with Zpacks and in any sort of fashion or way. You know, I just believe in their product, love the fact that their products are made in the USA. That's a big deal. And of course, the 4 characteristics that we just went through is an absolute big deal. I want to tell you at the end of the video, for the videos that it pertains to, I'm going to do something, a twist. I'm going to involve the public, or some of the folks that I know around my inner circle here in terms of the product. I had my neighbor come over, package was delivered incorrectly, gave me the package, and I thought, hey, let me pull Mitch back and ask him how much he thinks I paid for this pack. So a little fun thing at the end of the videos, I'm gonna ask the public or some of the folks around me how much I actually paid for some of these products to the non-thru hiking community, some of the folks that don't necessarily know the ins and outs of the thru hiking products and services that are provided throughout the industry here, which is pretty neat. Stick around, we'll see what Mitch thinks I paid for the Arc Haul 62-liter backpack from Zpacks. If you want more information, you go to their website, zpacks.com. Had a really good time. I have another piece of gear review coming up probably in about a week. I'm gonna try to keep that on schedule as I stated before. There's a lot going on here after the hike. I'll try to get that out weekly and get everyone on a schedule of the gear review. Thank you very, very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Thank you very, very much. Let's see what Mitch thinks I paid for a Zpacks Arc Haul. We will catch everyone on the other side. Thank you. Boom, I'm gonna do this just like I told you guys I was gonna do. So I got my neighbor here, right here. Mitch.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Mitch, right?
Yep.
It's my neighbor, he lives right over there. Good guy, he was worried about me when I was on the trail. I'm just texting me when I was missing and stuff. But I'm gonna do something different right here. So Mitch knows that I've been through hiking, but I wanna get people who camp and they know the outdoors, but they don't necessarily follow through hiking. And I spoke to Mitch here a little bit for about 2 minutes. Let him play with the pack. He looked at it inside and out. He's holding it. I told him where I wore it, you know, it's a Zpacks. I asked him how much he thought it was. Mitch, how much do you think I paid for the Zpacks Arc Haul 62-liter?
I'd say probably $100.
He
I would
said
say around there. I was guesstimating.
He said,
I mean, I'm not a trail guy, so.
All right. He said probably $100. We'll get back to you on that. Thank you, Mitch. All right. You have a good one. Thank you very much for your
You guys
time,
have a good
brother.
day.
All right.